Morning. I'm going to do the market watch. Roll the intro and we'll see what we can find. Hi, welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Langers and I am the Scruffy trader. And what I'm doing today is a quick overview of the markets, of what I'm potentially going to be trading today if the opportunity arises. Because what I'm trying to do is put trading in the real world. You know, you won't see any Lamborghinis or anything like that here. It's just me, these screens, and a cup of coffee. Because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. And if you like real world trading, then please subscribe, drop a comment below, smash the little like icon. Genuinely motivates me to do more of this. And we'll go through this journey together. So let's see what we can find today. Well, each morning when I wake up, I work out roughly the activity within the market. Now, a lot of people call it strengths and one thing or another. I generally just refer to it as activity. I'll explain that in just a second. But I kind of start here and I have a little scan around this heat map, but it's this block that I'm most interested in. Because as you can see, it's swapping round and one thing and another as it just has in front of you. It tells me the strongest currency against the weakest currency over the last 24 hours. Now, it's not a direction picker. I think this is where a lot of people make the mistake. They automatically look at it and think, right, it's the Aussie versus the British pound. That's it. Aussie's strong. Wherever that is in the pair, that's the direction. It's not quite as simple as that, guys. What it's telling you, and it's likewise with the sheet that I work out, which I'll pull up in a second, is movement, activity, okay? Which is why the next part of my puzzle is this. I will look at the economic calendar and I'll see if there's activity around news events. Now, I don't necessarily trade the news. I'm a big believer that news events are already priced into the market, but on the release, they will spike. And I need to be mindful of that. And the way I'm mindful of it is I just stay out the markets. If I know there's a high volatility event coming, as there is around 10:30 this morning with the crude oil announcements, I'll just stay out the markets. It's quite simple. There's another one this afternoon. Federal market committees have their meetings and decisions later on this afternoon, as well as the Fed interest. So 2 o'clock, where we are, down here, there'll be a lot of movement. So you kind of want to be mindful of that past 2 anyway when New York opens. But today, coupled with these two events, well, there's three actually, across the half an hour, the markets are going to spike about a bit. So there's good opportunities. So your opportunities for me today are 10:30 to about 1:30, and then from 2:45, 3 o'clock through to tea time. So they're the times I'll be looking to trade. But now I have to find something to trade. So I'll look through all of that. And if you saw me walk around my desk, you'll see that I have ridiculously bad music on this side. And it don't get any worse than what I've got today, because it's a cracker. Where are we at? Just pull him in there. Good old Fergal Sharky. Kind of beat a bit of Fergal. Right, so we'll get him up there. but I also scan through and I work out this. And again, I use this every day as I do my sheet every day. And again, this is not a direction picker. It's an activity picker. So all it's doing is telling me which is going to be active. Okay. And when you look at these, whereas the chart you've just seen on FinViz is 1 day, this is across 2 days, and I'm looking for a change in strength. And that change in strength down here makes up this, and it helps me thin down the market. So all it's for, it just helps me thin down the market. And it's that simple, you know. These are my figures. I don't give them out. It's just the way I interpret the sort of what I see when I flip through the chart. And it's all based on various indicators, you know, how high the RSI is going up, that sort of thing, you know. But it's just an equation I have in my head, and it helps me. All right, so let's see what the charts have in store. So I know I'm going to be looking at the euro dollar, so we'll start building up a watch list. Definitely we'll be looking at this one, and the New Zealand dollar was a good concept, and that was it. It was only the two. So we'll flick through to our crowd favorites. Germany's always a good one. And oil, I'll kind of just see what happens at dinner time with that one. So I have this set up, and what this chart will become in a moment is I will have them spaced out like so. It's a good platform, this, because you can mark your charts out. Like so. I can hold 6 on a screen. There we are. So I will have that in my peripheral over here, and I'll keep an eye on it for when it gets to levels that I want to. So now what I need to do is figure out which one is the strongest candidate. Okay. So we'll start with the euro. As we can see, we have a lovely drive up. It has shown absolutely no sign of slowing down. The euro is still pretty strong against the dollar, but we're coming into this area of interest. So if we drop it to an hourly, and we can see exactly what's going on. Now that's been buying up all night. Okay. And there's a lot of pushes, but for me to enter, I want to see a solid break of this. If it breaks there, there's a high probability it's going to sweep up into this area here. And let's have a look. It's going to volley on. So there's still plenty of room, but I think it'll retrace. So if that's the case, what we do is the direction is that way. We build up some zones so we can see where we're going to work to. Get a rectangle on, which is there. These are stop zones. In other words, I never trade through a red. I only trade out of one or away from one. So if it's in there, it has to come out one way or the other. But if it's going into it, I won't initiate a trade here to go through it. It has to break it. Okay. But a green zone, I will trade through. And I will be putting a green zone in there. There we are. So they're my entry points. So what I'm looking at here is very simple. If that reverses and I open a trade here somewhere, I will trade through that for it to get here. If not, and this is coming into this, I want to see it break before I will enter the market. And I keep an eye on that. Let's have a look at a basic RSI. See, plenty of room to get up. So the premise is still long on this, but I think it's going to come down before it goes up. Okay, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. If it gets down here somewhere, I'll then look to bring it back. That's what I'm looking at with this. Okay, basic stuff, guys. That's all it is. It's always just basic stuff. All right, and the reason why I think it's going to come back, because it's had a drive up, it's pushing, it's come down, it's pushed up, but it's starting to gather a little bit of pace, so it might retrace and then that way. All right, so that's that. So I'll be watching the euro today with some good eyes. Okay. So we'll see what the bigger picture of this is. Again, nice drive up. It hasn't really looked back. It's still meandering up. That's pushing up. Bit of indecision yesterday. So we're in the middle. As you can see, it's all green. Bolly on. Bang in the middle of the Bollinger. Basic RSI. It's above the 50, curling up. It's high probability. Take this down onto an hour. Still in the middle of the bolly. Tails. Yeah, starting to cross the... Just a good tip, guys. It's always good to have a midpoint on an RSI, just so you can see exactly where it is. So, yeah, that's poking up. Let's draw in a fib. I think it's going to go that way. And the one thing I get pulled all the time is, you make it look simple. It's too simple. Can it work? And this is from people who say they traded for years and years. And I always ask the same question. Do you make money? And they go, yeah, I do all right. Okay. Does it pay you a wage? No. It's too volatile. It swings too much. So you're not making money in it. So really, your opinion means nothing to me. And it's as simple as that. And I know that sounds brutal, but I very rarely pick on somebody. In fact, I never pick on somebody about whether they're profitable or not. I don't see why it's any business of mine. But that's just the world over. You know, we all trade for different reasons. I trade because I love it, you know, and it pays me some money each month. I use that money to enjoy my life. And that's what life's all about. Just, I don't think some people understand that. Right, okay. So, yeah. So I'm going to stick with these two markets. They're pretty, they should be able to give me what I want. Let's have a look. 52. Not a great deal of movement in that. It's maybe 20 pips at best to get it up here. But size it out right, could do okay. There you are, let's start to turn away. I don't need the news today. But if that comes down to here, to go back there, that's a good 40 pip move. We'll live with that. Let's have a quick look, see what this has to say. Right, now this is a little bit more interesting. Okay, it's right down onto coming off key level, moving up. It's been a strong drive down. Has that been to 50% yet? Looks like it has. There's the top of the move to there. What do you know? Didn't quite hit 50%, but was bloody close to it. Well, there's another strong move. So if that's going to pulse up to here, high probability it will. There's a 50-point move. Drag that down onto this. Nice solid candle. 7. Yeah. That's a good contender, that actually. Let's have a look. The thing with the DAX is it moves very, very quickly. So you've got to be a bit careful with it. Treat it with kid gloves. Because the moment you think that you've got it beat, you haven't. On. There we are. So it's a rejection from the bottom of the bolly. It's coming off this level as well. It's breaching that 20 moving average. And it's bending up heavily. Okay, so there's another good market. All right, so that's all I need today. So I'll quickly upload this video and then I'll come back to you later on today and we'll have a look at these 3 markets and see if I've made some money out of at least one of them. Okay, but that's the 3 I'll be looking at today. All right, see you on the other side. Remember guys, do what you love and the money will follow.